goal of this video is to troubleshoot and resolve different issues that might be causing an object or a character to not jump or not jump correctly in Unity. So to start out, I have a basic scene with a floor and a player capsule that has a direction object attached to it just to show which way it's moving. That player capsule itself has a capsule collider, a character controller script that I wrote up, and then finally a character controller. So if I go to play the game, I can move a character around, I can jump sometimes, but you'll note on the script the grounded value is only sometimes working. So to resolve this, I'm going to open up the script, and then first I'm going to check if the object is grounded. So I have a private bool grounded. I've set that to equal controller.isGrounded, which is the Unity functionality for whether the character controller is touching the ground. And if it's grounded and the jump velocity vector that I set up .y, so its y value is less than 0, we're just going to set that to 0. And then more importantly, down in the jump functionality, you need to check that if it's grounded and if you're pressing whatever button you're using to jump. The next issue to check is not applying gravity, since I am doing everything to check whether an object is grounded. So I have a jump height value, a gravity value, and both of those need to be utilized. So if I go back down to the jump functionality, I'm checking if it's grounded, and if the space key is pressed, then jump velocity.y equals mathf.square root the jump height times a negative constant, 3 in this case, times gravity. I need to then apply the gravity, so jump velocity.y plus equals gravity times time.delta time, and then I need to move, so I need to set up controller.move that jump velocity value times time.delta time. And I've done all that. So my problem is most likely that the min move distance value on the character controller itself needs to be adjusted. So if I go back to Unity to the character controller, it has a value of 0.001. Now I'll go back to play this game again, and you'll notice that I'm still having that issue where it's not always jumping when I press space because it's not always seeing it as grounded. If I move that minimum move distance down to 0 and then keep playing, now grounded is working 100% of the time. So these are the three main things to check when you're using a character controller to move around your character and to have your character jump. Now, for a rigid body, if you're moving your character with a rigid body, I actually have a different prefab setup for that. It's a cylinder, and that player cylinder has, again, a capsule collider. This time it has a rigid body and it has a different script. So if I go and open up that script, I'm actually going to play the game first. You notice if I actually press J this time as the key, I'm not really jumping with much force. So if I go back and open up this script, there's two main causes of the rigid body not jumping or not jumping correctly. One is that using gravity isn't checked. If I go back, I can actually see that using gravity is checked, but if I uncheck it, play the game, there's no gravity. I can press J and I'll rise faster, but I'll never fall back down. So using gravity wasn't my issue. So I'm gonna go back to the script, and the issue might be that I'm not applying enough force. So if I actually take off that jump force multiplier on the add force functionality and go back to the game, you notice if I just press J, I barely move at all. Now you can actually hold whatever key or button and you'll continue to add that force. But for the sake of just being able to tap the button, that jump force value should be something significant to be able to get that jump value or jump height to be higher. So I'm actually holding J there to jump a little bit higher, but you can adjust that jump value to be whatever you want. So I'm actually going to increase it from 1.25 and almost double it. Go back to the game, and now whenever I tap or press J, it's moving with twice as much force. And that's it. That's the issues that I've noticed when using character controllers and rigid bodies to try to jump.